He actually had some lines. I was like, okay, that's dope. Like, I know that's fucked up. No, there were a couple, but Big Sean good lines don't stick in my head. Big Sean whack lines, they stick around. But like, there was a one where he said something. Then a hip hop album review, Migos, Culture. Before we get into the review, man, look, check out your boys on Dead End Sports, man. Every Wednesday, Dead End Sports consists of myself, BZ, Ken, and our host 12, Kyle. Off the Bench, the new and revamped version, featuring myself, BZ, and Ken. Like,
so did y'all just fire Q?
Q just got moved to the deeper side of the bench, man. That's all. So I'm not even.
Migos in the chamber. Migos in the Dead End Hip Hop chamber.
So y'all motherfuckers can't talk no more shit. Well, yes y'all can, because we don't do enough of these type of artists. But this is my first time actually sitting down listening to a Migos project, beginning to end.
I'm surprised for you though.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
that's my first time too.
Wow. Yeah, my first time too. Yeah.
I'll get like a mixtape and then I'll start and then I'll do something else and then I don't go back to it. Yeah. So beginning to end, like actually formulating an opinion over several songs. First time. Now, this is the reason why I make a distinction of artists that I'm a fan of and artists I fuck with. Migos I fuck with, and I fuck with them heavy. Why? Because when they come out with a hot song, the shit is hot. The shit is dope. It's undeniable. But for me to sit down and listen to this project like that, it's kind of like it makes it underwhelming. So I'm excited for their singles and their hot songs and stuff like that. Like, hell yeah, I'm about to bump this shit in the whip heavy. But then it's like for me to put on a whole album.
They don't make album music.
They don't make album music.
It's not album.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's a whole bunch of artists that I feel that are definitely in that commercial lane of shit that I fuck with y'all, but I ain't trying to peep out your project.
You ain't trying to sit down and just focus and listen to it.
Nah, because I feel that when I sit down with an album, there are certain things I need to pull away.
Right.
Things that I relate. Like, damn, you had that same story, shit. I went through that same exact thing.
Yeah.
Damn, you had it that hard coming up in the hood. You know what? Like, I didn't have it that hard, but I know niggas that had it that hard.
Right.
Like those.
Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. What about like as workout music?
Perfect. Because to me, like what Migos does, they make situational music for me. They make music for the club. They make music to work out. They make music for the whip. Anything outside of that, I'm kind of like.
What else is there outside of that? For most kids, think about it.
Well, kids,
you're not a kid, so this isn't for you.
Exactly.
But and maybe this is more for Rod and maybe B, but wouldn't No Limit kind of fall into, I guess, that category you're talking about?
But I was a kid when that.
That's what I'm putting for pro.
And it kind of
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what.
So I understand it
Because they don't make shit like, oh yeah, I went through that shit, like some of the stuff, but not as a whole.
Not as a whole, because there are tracks on here that I want to go back to that I enjoyed for one of those three situations.
Fucking t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. T-shirt is my shit.
You know what I'm saying? T-shirt.
That shit slap, dude.
But I can't even front. Like, to me, the best song on here is their radio single, Bad and Bougie.
No, it's not.
To me, it is. It's my favorite song.
That shit with 2 Chainz.
No, 2 Chainz is dope.
That's just the best song on here.
No, it's
niggas
not.
in trouble.
Bad and Bougie. I mean,
You niggas in trouble. That's just the biggest song.
Nah,
Bad and Bougie is
Bad and Bougie is tight.
It's just the way it comes on. It's just
it's so dark and just it's so dope. But that's why Lil Uzi Vert, he messed the whole song. After Quavo verse, I always skip and go to the next track every time because I'm like, I do not want to hear his verse.
Bad and Bougie is definitely the best track on this album.
Even if I can like some shit like this,
That's the first time them and Metro Boomin.
Come on, boy.
Them ad-libs on Bad and Bougie. Come on. He got 30s and 100 rounds too. I was like, damn. You gonna have the original Uzi clip with 30 rounds. You gonna have extended with 100 rounds. Like, God damn. How many people you shooting up in this bitch? Everybody.
My first time hearing Bad and Bougie was on this album. Like, even when it blew up after the Atlanta shit,
I heard it. It was on SoundCloud. It was on SoundCloud back then.
I didn't want to listen to it. My first time hearing it was on this album. I was like, oh. oh, I see why people will fuck with this.
Like, there's not anything that you could really analyze on this thing. It's like you enjoy it or you don't.
Bitch, I'm a dog. Root. That
Kill me for a dog.
I was like, what you say that? He said, rack on some racks on my back, so my money making my back ache. I was like, damn, that was kind of a sweet little flow he did, that little wordplay.
The Migos flow is
Flow.
You know, people put them in mumble rap. I'm like,
they're more in the trap.
mumble rap.
Yeah, it's just genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not mumble rap.
Well, how much cocaine are they dealing?
No, what was the line? What was the line? He said, and maybe
Cassie caller?
was it? He said, I woke up with so much cocaine in my hair, I thought I had lice.
No, the cat.
Man. Oh shit.
But the casting call hook, that shit. What he say? We got all different types of birds.
You know how many chickens you got?
Yes.
It's like, what is that, tractor in the Zaxby's?
How much cocaine you have if your trap house is like Zach? What kind of chicken you want, Ken? What kind of chicken y'all want? I can give it to you different ways. How they double entendre that shit? I'm like,
the Migos.
dog, throughout this whole album, I'm like, dog, these niggas are selling that weight. I'm serious. Every single album, even Bad and Bougie, you talking about, coke. What was the other joint? The 17.5. Was that T-shirt?
T-shirt, yeah.
Yes, like 17.5.
Yeah.
I forgot how the damn hook.
Same color T-shirt.
Same color T-shirt, white. I'm like, damn, y'all flipping that just like that. Even the Gucci joint, you talking about your aunts and uncles flipping that work. I'm like, damn. That's why they got that bread, baby. I mean, it's. But yeah, I agree with FIFO though, man. It's like this is definitely a. If I was like still 17, 18 years old with two 15s in my trunk, Jay Bird tell you he's had that knock. Man, like this joint bang. Even in my car with my system, I was like, man, T-shirt. When T-shirt came on, I didn't understand the whole culture. The beginning, that was a bad way to start the album off because you're. It's
No, I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool too. With
you
DJ
liked
Khaled.
it. It sounded like it was.
No, I don't like DJ Khaled, but I liked how they were saying, yeah, culture coming soon.
And I'm like, but we already got the album.
Come on,
It sounded like a throwaway track off of Khaled's album. Like it could have been on DJ Khaled's album.
All like
Y'all
Nas
being
album
picky.
done.
Yeah, that's what I'm
being
saying.
picky.
Yeah,
You being picky.
I'm like,
It does stand out.
it doesn't sound like it's bad though. It makes sense.
I think they got it out of the way.
Yeah, I'm like,
But I was cool with the
I'm
intro.
to start the album. I'm talking about the start.
Brother Jules has done that. Like plenty of rap groups are like, yeah, the album's coming on the album.
Really? Yeah. I don't remember. I just don't remember. I'm sorry. I mean, of course, yeah. Content wise, I was, I wasn't expecting to be all deep, meaning and everything. By the time I got to get your mind, get right with you, I was like, okay, yeah, this is we on some coke shit. We all selling coke. T-shirts, white, 17, like everything. I mean, they had so much cocaine reference throughout this album. I was like, Jesus Christ, I feel like Scarface at the end, like this, like shit, like goddamn. Zaytoven, Big on Big was dope. Zaytoven, I love Zaytoven with the piano work. His piano work, I think, is amazing on all his productions because he done work with Gucci Mane before. So, yeah, the Kelly Price track would be like the track where I was listening to it, I'm like, okay, it's 3:40. I still got 3 minutes left of this song. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's way too long.
Yeah, that was just like way too long. But the 2 Chainz though?
Man.
Wake up, count the dads. Count the dads. Count them dads, dude. Count the dads, Ken. Ooh, get up the bed.
I just got it.
Count up the dead. Yeah,
I
that's what
just
it
got
count
it.
The dead presents. Yeah.
Yeah, I just literally just got it. When you did this, I just got it. I was like,
For me, I just love the you niggas in trouble. You niggas in trouble. Like, how do you open up like, man?
Longest anaconda.
I was like, oh my God, that shit is so fucking hard, man. Like, I'm too old to be driving. Like, look, when that shit came on,
You told me what?
man, I was driving like 70. No, I didn't. But
He was like,
you niggas in trouble.
look, hey, Mike, he was like,
my back is in trouble.
hey, yo, I'm gonna be late to the shoot.
Like, I was just driving, listening to it for the first time, and I was commute on my way from work. By the time I was doing 70. By the time that song went off, I was doing like 90.
Music can do that. I've been there. Music will
I was like, I'm about to get my ass locked up if I get pulled over listening to fucking Migos. Yo, like this isn't my first time listening to a Migos project.
First time.
Because there was one that made everybody's end of the year list. It was either Young Rich Niggas and Young Rich Niggas 2. I don't know which one.
Mixtape.
I was like, what the fuck is it about? And I listened, I'm like, get what this is way better than that to me. It's way more diverse. They've definitely grown as artists. And the thing I like about Migos is they are who they are and they don't try to be anybody else. And that's it.
They just want to be respected for who they are.
I don't even know if they even care about that shit, dog. No, they don't care. They're not trying to be top 5. Nobody's trying to tell you they top 5 or best rappers alive. They just the fucking Migos.
But what I'm talking about is that they feel slighted in the fact that they don't get enough credit for.
They did at one point.
I don't think so.
Oh, I think it was about the flow. The Migos
They don't care now. They did.
It was about the Migos
They have
flow.
big issues with
They had a couple of songs where they were directly addressing that.
Yeah.
And so there was some respect that they felt like they were being disrespected.
On the documentary, they flat out say, they're like, yeah, people are stealing our flow, but we think it's cool that we can be impactful to the genre like that. So I think they're just
See, I thought they were writing for people. I didn't know people were still.
No, people were biting their flow, and I didn't notice it. I mean, obviously, because I don't listen to
You don't
this
listen to
shit.
that, yeah.
But when I listen to this, I see it now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Because even these trap dudes that try to rap, I'd be like, damn,
That's the
they sound
Migos.
like Migos. Like that's
They managed to stay around. Like if you look at Atlanta and the hip hop scene that came around when they first broke on the scene, 2013 or whatever, they're still here. But the thing that got me with them, I think it was on the album Young Rich Nation, where they had a song called Gangsta Rap. Didn't sound like anything that they've done, because all their other stuff is trap shit. I don't fuck with that shit. Yeah, everything sounded the same, whatever. But you know, that's what they made. That's the music they made. They did a song called Gangsta Rap, and it sounded like some old school gangsta rap shit. And I was like, that's the Migos? And I'm not saying they wowing you with music, but the fact that they were able to step away from that and do something that's different and a sound that's different, I was like, wow, that's interesting. And this was on their last one, Young Rich Day. I forgot which one that came out, but that was when they had a slew of mixtapes.
When I listened to this, it was definitely different than what I expected, because I don't know anything about Migos except for that. I remember that song, and I remember Trap Out the Bando. And I remember we were talking about the upcoming Atlanta. This was years ago. And I remember when I heard that song, I was like, wow, poor kids. And no. Listen, and I was like, these guys are going nowhere. These guys are going nowhere. And it's just interesting to see how much they blew up since then. You know, and I think it's really, really, really interesting that they've been able to do what they did with making unapologetic, unabashed Southern rap. And they're making it so accessible to the mainstream culture. I think that that's interesting. My thing is, this music itself is not something that I would listen to, but if it came on, I wouldn't be annoyed. I'd be like, okay, it's Migos. There wasn't anything where, you know what, here's the thing. I thought it was gonna be a lot whacker than it is. I didn't think they actually had any bars, which I was wrong. They do have bars. I didn't think that it would be a very interesting listen. But when I put this on, the majority of this sounds the same to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The vast majority of this sounds the same. That's why I was waiting for someone to say something similar, but I'm like, did I listen to a different album?
No, that's what I was saying. Like,
this shit crazy.
When I said that they don't make album music, they just make music that it all sounds the same, so you just pick one.
But that's right, and that's where I kind of disagree, because the thing about it is, you can put this album on and be fine. When you said they don't make album music, I thought you were saying that there were no real good songs except for the singles. But yeah, I get you now that any of these songs could be Bad and Bougie. Any of these songs could be their single, because they're all very similar.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally put this on, but every preconceived notion I had before listening to this is gone. Because I thought this was just gonna be some mumble rap bullshit, because I don't listen to this kind of stuff. The only song I heard was Bad and Bougie, because it came on the radio in my girlfriend's car. And she was talking about the 12-year-old girl she babysits that loves this shit. I don't know. I mean, I've been sitting here listening to y'all gush about this album, and I'm like, we just talking about this.
It's not.
I mean, kinda. Y'all been gushing quite a bit.
We were talking about specific songs.
I was joking.
I'm not saying the good thing, but I think it's what you said this before. It kind of pulls at heartstrings. It puts you in the mind of like when you were younger and listening to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can wild out for real.
I can't relate.
Real quick. You know, because you didn't grow up like on No Limit and stuff.
Hell no.
And he did.
Yeah.
So it kind of pulls at it. It's like, oh, I get it.
Remember I said that. I said, I like if I had the beat, man, this would be a heavy rotation.
Be playing all the time. I wouldn't be listening to no
T-shirt would have on my block. T-shirt would have the whole house like in my car.
But you're not that age anymore. You are how old now?
That's why I say heartstrings.
But what I'm asking is, are y'all going back to this project? It sounds like you are.
Some of the songs,
and it's okay, so that's not the same thing. Y'all are acting like, oh, well, it's nostalgic, so blah, 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 blah. But you are saying you will go back to this currently.
Some of the songs.
Right.
Yeah, not that.
There's no songs on here that I would be interested in hearing except for Bad and Bougie, just because it's so catchy, it got stuck in my head.
Yeah, they have some bangers on here. You know, and I think they should get credit for that.
I do too. When you listen to this album,
that's a good point.
I'm like, yeah, these dudes definitely got flow. And it was the first song where I was like, oh shit. Like,
I know it had to surprise you because
did.
I was thinking like Mike, he's not gonna know what to expect with this. Cause these dudes can actually kind of rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew you weren't gonna be expecting it when you heard them.
They can rap, but not in the way that I particularly appreciate.
Right.
They can rap in that older trap. No, I'm sorry, not the older, the more modern trap style. And like I said before, I did not expect bars. I expected a bunch of bullshit, and I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, these dudes actually got some. Like,
they've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. This is my first time. This is my first time
listened to them. Like, I don't even like some of their older stuff. You know, it's way too. It's just not for me. But just listening to their work, I'm like, you can hear the growth. And again, they just stay who they are. They don't try to be anybody else but the Migos.
But it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to venture away a little bit.
Yeah.
They're trying. They're trying.
Yeah, because there was a song that wasn't about coke.
There was a line on here that really I thought was interesting that they wrote it and put it out. They were like, she bad as hell, but she don't have a job. And the reason why I thought that was interesting because it was like there's values that they're placing in that woman, and I was like, damn, what? I think it was on either the Culture or the second song.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And I was like, wow, that's an interesting line for Migos, who's talking about crack on here. Then eventually later on, they do talk about all ass, and I'm gonna have a singer like Kelly Price. But just the fact that they wrote that line, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Nah, you know what was a cool ass line was when you talking about the fuck boys in the back, look at them plot, they think it's a club light, but it's probably a red dot. I was like, oh, that's a dope ass line. That's when I was like, oh, and that was the first song, and I was like, oh, these dudes are rapping.
Where they are right now, rapping wise, they haven't been. Like, this is a big jump for them. You know what I'm saying? So they're actually trying to step up and step out. You know what I'm saying? Like Ken said, they're trying to do other stuff.
It was some dope double entendres they were doing.
But it's all about the same shit. That's the problem.
Look, everybody, when they first came out, everybody thought their run was gonna be just like everybody else that is in that type of subgenre of hip hop, right? Everybody did. But now they're here, it's kind of like, well, shit, what do they do well that's gonna keep them relative? The club music, their hooks, their flow. I can see them still being relative, but I don't know if they're gonna grow as artists. I don't know if they're gonna expand their music.
Do they need to?
I don't know if they need to, or maybe they don't need to right now. You know, so I don't know.
They're not trying to get me as a fan. They're not even trying to get y'all as a fan. Y'all are collateral damage, which I think is another thing that's interesting.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, all four of us are saying there's music on here that we like.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Sure.
So are we fans? No, but we give them respect and we give them props for what they are doing.
But see, that's that thing where, again, it's like there's a difference between shitty music and the music you just don't really care for.
Exactly.
So when I put this on, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I'm not vibing out to it like that, but I 100% I get it.
Migos, if you watching, yo, bro, or bros, bros, I fuck with y'all, man. I definitely fuck with y'all. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm not gonna say, oh, you should do this. Now, I'm not gonna sound like that old ass motherfucker. I'm reserving that for some years.
Yeah, for this being my first time listening to you guys a whole project, you know, I was impressed with the flows. More than anything, y'all had some slappers that had me hitting repeat on there. It's good ear for beats on this album as well, too, man. So yeah. Good job.
Yeah, if you're watching, you guys are good at what you do, man, and just continue to do that. I like the fact that you guys aren't staying complacent. Like, you guys are just like, you you guys are growing and trying to grow and do different things, rap over different beats and different sounds. And I think that's cool, man. And that shows a level of maturity as artists, that you guys are thinking about the music and your approach in that way. For me, man, I can appreciate that, and you know, just continue to do what you guys do. I kind of understand and get why people kind of fuck with y'all. I want to see you guys continue to try to evolve in this space, in this business, because I think you guys are definitely talented enough to transition to something else, whatever that is.
Yeah, like I said before, I think there's a huge difference in hearing between hearing something that you just think is bad and hearing something and thinking it's just not for you. And this is simply just not for me. This is a strictly personal thing. I'm sure you guys don't give half a fuck if I'm listening to your music. I can say that you guys definitely gave me a new perspective on what you guys can do. I always say that it's very interesting when you find someone that's doing something creative in rap in this day and age. And I think you guys are definitely doing something creative. You're definitely doing something creative with your beats and your cadence. But of course, with me personally, a lot of it has to do with the content that makes me not want to return to it. Rappers that are being projected to the mainstream that are just talking about cooking crack, it kind of worries me. I don't want the mainstream to think that all young black kids are just shooting crack and cooking crack and selling crack, because that, especially in this day and age, that's not something that we need. But all that said, I would love to see you guys maybe diversify your content just a little bit, but you're young, you know what you know, you don't need me as a fan, you're doing great as it is, so I congratulate you for doing something that's actually creative in hip hop, so yeah.